Hey guys, welcome back to Kenny's Kitchen. Last episode we did baked apple fritters. Today we're going to do onion cheese bread. Now I do mine a little bit different than most people. I use the frozen bread, like you see, get at Walmart. There's 4 loaves that come into this bag, and they're like $6.50 for all 4 loaves. So we're going to use 2 loaves to make this. So it cut your cost down to about $3 to make one of these. Also got great value sharp cheddar cheese. Uh, the onions were, I think it was like 97 cents. This was $3. So you've got less than $10 in one loaf. And we went and bought some Classico marinara sauce. Uh, some people use it like marinara sauce. Some don't. They like to eat it just like this. But I have already put my water in the oven, and I took 2 of these bread loaves and I put them inside the mixer. I'm going to mix this up just for a little bit, and then get the temperature up just a little bit in the bread dough. You kind of want your bread dough around 85 degrees or so. Uh, I've already had it sitting out at room temperature to thaw out, so it's pretty much okay. When you go to get the bread out of the mixer, here's a cool little trick you can try. Just take you just about a palm full of flour, and as the dough is mixing, you take it, throw it in there, shut your mixer off, and it comes out a whole lot easier. And the dough hook comes out clean. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break for just a second, and let me get everything set up, and we're going to go ahead and roll out the dough and start making the bread. Now, there is another way you can do this. You can either mix it up in a mixer like I have, or you can take it and just, what grandma used to do is knead it on a countertop with some flour. And either way, just get the dough mixed up really good. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. Got rid of the mixer, got it out of the way. So here's what your final product is going to look like if you use a mixer. Like I said, you can do it on the counter with just a couple of doughs and mashing it together. Now we've taken some of the Southern fine china and put a little flour in the bottom of the plate and just dump that dough right there. That way it doesn't stick. Now, what you're going to need is the old-fashioned homegrown green onions. You can get these at your local grocery store. If you have one of these produce stores like Walmart, I normally use about 5. Again, this is to taste. We got that. We've got probably about 2/3 of the bag of cheese, because you're going to need some for the inside and on the outside for garnish. We're going to chop these up, and we'll be right back. Okay, let me recap real quick. Miss Vanessa just told me that I announced at the first of this video where I'd already put my pan of water in the oven. Um, the reason for the pan of water in the oven is, like I said in my first video with the apple fritters, you put that in the oven with boiling water, and that causes the dough to rise when you put it in there. And it causes it to rise without it drying out on top. You want to set your oven on 180 degrees, and then you put your pan of water in on the bottom shelf. Now what we're going to do now that we've got the bread out of the mixer, is we're going to put a little flour on this little pad. Something else you will need is you will need 1 egg with maybe a teaspoon of water. Just mix it up like this, like you would be making scrambled eggs. Set it off to the side. Get yourself a pastry brush, because you're going to need it. There's some of the things that I make. These are some of the brushes that we use. It's kind of like a paintbrush, but it's just for bakery, baking products and all. But one thing you have to be careful of, never put these in a dishwasher. Always wash them by hand. And before you start to use them, reach over and fan them. Because a lot of times, these little bristles will come out, and it will stick to whatever you're making, and it appears to be hair, but it's not. It's the brush. So what we've done, we've got our dough. We're going to set that right down there. And we're going to knead it a little bit, kind of stretch it out, and we're going to roll it. Now you want to get this thing to where it fits inside the bundt pan that we're going to use, like we did on the apple fritters last week. We're going to try to make 2 of these videos a month, but the way our schedule is right now, it's very difficult for us to do 1 a month, but we're going to try to stick with it, okay? So once you get this rolled out, you may have to keep putting flour on it, keep it from sticking to you. Grab it, roll some, pull it, roll it. You're going to take probably 3/4 of the cheese that's in the bag, put it in a bowl like I've done here. Also the onions, you want to try to cut those in small pieces. In case you're wondering, I do my own cleaning of the kitchen, so Miss Vanessa don't have to, so that's a good thing. Clean up my mess. Okay, once you get it like this, you want to take your pan, bundt pan, you want to set it over in here so that it looks like this. Both ends are pretty well overlap, maybe an inch or so. Once you get that, run it back out. Now, I have favorite knives, like I said before. These are Farberware. You can buy these at Walmart. They come in a large size like this, and then they got a smaller size. You want to make sure that your knife is sharp. You don't want it to tear the bread. You want it to cut the bread. So you're going to cut this bread about 3/4 of the way through. Be careful holding this bread and cutting, because these knives, I keep my knives razor sharp just because of this, and you can do yourself some damage real quick. This bread is something that you can make to take to a party or just have around the house on spaghetti night or whatever you want to have. It's really good. Okay, once you have this, take your bakery brush, kind of like paint, and you brush the inside. Now, the reason why you're brushing the inside is it holds the cheese and the onions in place while you're sealing this back up. Okay? Plus, if you do the outside of the bread right here, when you go to seal it back up, it works. I hate to put it this way, but it actually works like a gluing sensation and holds the bread together. Now, you'll see, chop the onions pretty fast, but you'll see the size next to my finger. You want something really small like that. Okay? Now, just grab you a handful. Put it down in there like that. Mix a little green in there, get you a little color going on. Okay. So now, this is what you have. Once you have that, you grab your cheese. I use sharp cheddar cheese. You can use extra sharp, mild, whatever. Whatever you want to use. You can use different kinds of cheddars. Mild, sharp, extra sharp. You can use provolone. You can use whatever your favorite cheese is. But you want to make sure that it's sliced up. It'll melt a lot better. Don't leave it in cubes. Okay. It's looking good already. Put a little bit right there. Okay. Now, we've got our cheese in there, and we have our onions. So now comes the sticky part. See if I can do this where you can see. Pull it up. This is odd doing it this way because usually I don't have a camera. But you seal it back up and pinch it together. Okay? Get that cheese up in there. Okay, once you have this, it's okay if some of it doesn't stick like this. You just reach over there and pinch it all the way through to where you have a seam. Okay? Now, this is the seam. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our Bundt pan and have our Pam spray. And again, when you're spraying the Bundt pan, be sure you get the cone all the way up to the top. Okay, we're done with that. Now, move the bread out of the way. Put your Bundt pan. Pick your bread up like this. Put the seam down. Now you want to take some of the egg wash and brush the end of this. Brush the end of this. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to take these two ends together and you're just going to mash them together so that you have one loaf of bread like this. Not the prettiest in the world, but it serves its purpose. Okay? Now, this is what you're going to have. Then you're going to take your egg wash and you're just going to smear it all around on the top. What this is going to do, it's going to hold your cheese and your onions in place just like it was we did it a while ago on the inside. Okay? Now, you get finished. You can see I cut a little bit deep on that, but it'll be okay. It's fine. So you take some of your onions now and you just sprinkle it all over here. All this is here just mainly for garnish so that when you take it somewhere or you set it on the table, it just looks all prettified. Okay? Now, you're going to take the rest of your cheese. You can use as much as you want. You can use as little as you want. Again, most of the recipes that I use and I show you are to taste. If you want to use more than I do, please do. If you want to use less, it's totally left up to you. Take my recipes and make them your own. Now, we've got our oven setting on 185 degrees, or 180 degrees, my bad, with water that I had put in before the video started. Now, what this is going to do is with it 180 degrees, it's going to cause the yeast to activate in the bread dough. It's going to cause it to rise. We're going to let it in, set it in the oven. I'm not really sure what the proofing time is going to be, but I'll keep up with it, let you guys know when we come back. But we're going to proof this bread. I'm going to show you what it looks like before we bake it. We're going to take the pan of water out, bump it up to 400 degrees, and we're going to have a really nice loaf of bread when we get finished. So right now, we're setting at 180 degrees with a pan of hot water in the oven. We're just going to set the bread dough in here like this. When we take the pan out, it's when we're going to up the temperature. So don't touch the temperature. Leave it at 180. We'll be right back. Okay, it's been right at 45 minutes. We've had the oven set at 180 degrees. We're going to take out the pan of water. Now's the time that we need to bump the oven up to 350 degrees to 400. Like I said in my last video, if you live somewhere in a higher altitude, you may have to bake this a little longer. Right now, we're going to bake it for about 30 minutes, and we're going to see what it looks like. Here's what it looks like right now. 180 degrees, proofed up. Now, I want to say one thing before we go any further. Bump my oven up to 400. Okay. The marinara sauce that we bought, it's just plain out of the jar Classico. You can use any kind of spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, whatever. What I normally do is I pour about as much in a bowl, about half a jar, and I season it up with salt, pepper, and I put extra oregano, garlic salt, garlic powder, and I kind of add a little bit more stuff to it. So you could use it out of the jar, or you could go ahead and put more stuff in it to make it taste better to your liking. Okay, you can get as much as you want. You have to do it to taste the way your family enjoys it. So we're going to bake the bread for about 30-35 minutes. We'll check on it then, and we'll give an exact time how long it takes to get it baked. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back, and it's been about 45 minutes since we started the baking the bread. You can put it on 350 or 400. I said 400 a while ago, but depends on where you live and how your oven bakes. So we're going to get this out. Oh, look at there. Wow. Here is your finished product. Now, we'll put it on a plate. Let me get another plate while I'm at it. Two plates here. We're going to take one, lay it on top, and we're going to flip. Beautiful, beautiful. Clean pan, good. That's what the bottom of the plate is going to look like, bottom of the bread. But we're going to take another plate, we'll flip it over, so you have the nice golden brown on top. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, take one of my huge knives. Here we're going. It's hard to cut when it's hot, but I wanted you guys to see what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, that's hot. Golden brown on the outside. And you have a little bit of cheese and onions in the middle. Now, with your marinara sauce, dip that down in there, or you can eat it just like it is. Get your marinara sauce, dress it up how you want. Cheese bread, you can put as much cheese or a little cheese. Same thing with onions. Like I said a while ago, you can chop up some pepperonis. You can put in some ground beef, put in some sausage of your kind. But you've got to remember, when you cut this bread and spread it apart, the more you put in, the harder it's going to be to seal back up, and it could bust while it was baking, and you'll have all that stuff in there. But it's okay. It's fine. Try it however you want to. This concludes another Kenny's Kitchen video. I would like to thank our military and our first responders for the awesome job that they do. I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in and supporting my family. And I'd like to thank Miss Vanessa, hoping to have her on camera with me here pretty soon, and for all the hard work that she puts in behind the scenes to make this dream come true. Till the next time, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good week, and we will see you next time. See ya.
Y'all, he's my husband, so of course I'm biased, but this is good.